friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Priyanka and today I'm going to show you how to paint a rose flower easily and beautifully. I've kept the sketch ready and for your convenience I'm attaching the soft copy of it in the description box. You can download it from there. So let's get started now. So I begin by giving a clear wash to the center of the flower and then with gamboge hue yellow I will do the initial layer. The initial layer will be light and later as required I will darken it. I feel it's a good practice for beginners to keep their initial layers light and as required keep darkening them rather than applying too much pigment in the first instance as it becomes difficult to rectify it. Now I will apply some more pigment. It's a wet on wet technique that I'll be using to do the flower. The pigment in wet on wet really spreads nicely. So you don't have to worry about anything, just be very patient and in a good mood and then continue your work. So now I give a touch of vermilion hue red. Since my surface is wet, the pigment spreads nicely. You just have to keep in mind not to use too much water, else puddles will form which will hamper the flow of your work. I'm using 100% cotton 300 GSM watercolor paper here and natural hair mop brush. I'll merge the pigment now and I feel I should be giving some more yellow. So after merging I'll give some more yellow while leaving some white and light spaces, which is important to give a natural look. Okay, so just see it's spreading nicely. After applying this much of pigment, I will leave this part to dry, and on drying, as we know, watercolor becomes lighter by almost 25 to 30%, so that will give me an idea of how much more pigment I have to apply later. Okay, so this small input I feel is useful for beginners so that you don't apply too much pigment in the first go. So now I will leave that part to dry and move to another petal. So clear water wash and then application of yellow pigment as the base and then red. As I was trying to say earlier, that you just have to enjoy your work and keep yourself relaxed while you are painting. The key to watercolors is practice and patience. So with practice and if you're patient, your work will slowly improve. So your first go may not be that well, but don't worry, try it again, and I'm sure with 3-4 trials, it's definitely going to be a great improvement in your work. Now moving to the third petal. Same way, clear wash and then applying the pigments. So a lot of times it happens that my colors also don't come out very nicely, but then any such thing which doesn't come out well in the first go becomes a challenge, no? So I try again, and then later I feel the thing has become easy. So just keep trying, keep practicing. And I'm sure once you have practiced, the flower you make is going to be much nicer than what I have also done. So just see the color is spreading nicely, and as this petal is opening outwards, we also have to remember that the edges have to be lighter. So either you can keep it white, not put any paint over that area, the edge, or if you wish to be light pink, then just apply little color. Okay, here I'm showing that the base is yellow, and as we are moving out, it has more redness in it. This tutorial may be a bit longer, but I'm trying to show you all the steps so that you can learn it easily at home. And with regular practice, you can become a very good watercolor artist. I'm using red and yellow here, but you can do the flower in any colors. You can do a light pink and a dark pink, light pink and white. If in case you just want to do one color flower, the parts which I'm doing yellow will become whiter in that case. So red remains as it is, and the yellow parts they become light pink and white ultimately. If you're doing a two-color flower, it will be the way as we are doing here. Any two colors of your choice. And this is the way we will be painting it. So my third petal is almost ready. And I now feel there is a need to give a touch of a darker color. So I'm giving maroon here. That is vermilion hue red plus black, and the ratio of the ratio of red to black will be 8:1. 8 of black. If you are taking 8 of black, then only 2 of if it is 8 of red, then it is just 2 of black. So 8:2 is the ratio. Now I'm moving to the other petals. All of them, as I just discussed with you, are going to be done in the same way. Clear wash and then application of red and yellow here. You just have to keep in mind that giving a clear wash is very important, and that's the wet and wet technique. Now the next petal in the same way. Here I will be giving red at the base, and gradually as I move to the outer part of the petal, it will be more yellow. So a touch of red, mixing it slowly, and then yellow. Also, one thing which I think we all should keep in mind, that as the water gets dirty, we should always clean that, especially if you are using altogether different types of colors, so that one color doesn't, it sometimes happens by mistake that our water is dirty, so a tinge of the other color from the water, maybe a darker color, gets into our pigment. So just take care to keep changing your water, or better keep 2 jars of clear water. So one wherein you are clearing your brush, and the other jar always remains clean. Now I'm moving to another one. This petal will be folded to the outside. So the inside part here will be darker red. So though I'm not touching any black as of now, I'll just be giving the dark with red. The first layer will be light. Once it dries, it becomes as light as it had to become, that is by 25-30%. Then I will get an idea of how much darker I had to do. And then accordingly, I will apply more pigment. Okay, so now I return to my second petal. There was need to give some more red to it, so I'm doing that now. And I will be merging the colors. Also, we should remember that leaving small white spaces is very important in watercolors. It helps in giving a natural look. So these are some small tips watercolor beginner must keep in mind. Now see, this area also needs to be darkened. Now a lot of times we all make mistakes, but had I applied more pigment in the beginning only, then rectification of those errors becomes difficult. So just remember to apply less color, and gradually you can darken it. It's always easier to darken the work than lightening it. Lightening of course is very difficult, because watercolors is difficult to rectify. So once the entire flower is ready, we will get an idea of the second tone and how much pigment we have to apply there. Now the inside part, same way, clear wash, yellow, and then red. Now we will do the sepals and the leaves and come back to the flower in the end if any highlighting is required. So for the sepals also, clear wash, and then I'm applying sap green and viridian hue, that is the darker green. Now coming to the longer sepal. In this one, I'll be using viridian hue green and yellow. And later on, if required, we will give a touch of cobalt. A touch of cobalt on green actually looks very well, especially in these kinds of hues that we are working with. So as of now, it's just viridian hue and yellow which I'm using. Now a touch of more viridian green. Now coming to the stem, here I'll be using sap green, burnt sienna brown and a hint of dark brown. And dark brown I'll be making by mixing burnt sienna and black. Ratio will be 8:2. Suppose you're taking 8 parts of burnt sienna and it will be just 2 parts of black to make the darker brown. If you wish, you can make it a bit more darker also, 7:3, but generally 8:2 is a good enough ratio. So by the time the pigment in the stem is getting dry, I'll come back to the longer sepal. I'll be using dark sap green for the outer part, which is again sap green plus black, because it has to be a bit more dark. I'm keeping almost 7:3 ratio. You can also do 7:4 if you wish it to be dark, quite dark. Now viridian hue green, and I'm also giving a touch of cobalt. As it's prickly, so I'm making those prickles now. If you wish, you can give a touch of more yellow if required, or more sap green, as you wish. Now the other sepal. Same way, clear wash and then applying sap green. So here, instead of the Viridian green, I'm just putting darker sap, that is sap green plus black. And now the other sepal in the same way. So it's all actually like the technique is the same. Clear wash and then application of the colors. The base color, or the color which you want to work on for the base, that you give first, and the other color comes later. So now it's time for me to darken my stem, as it had almost dried. So a bit, just a touch of black in the brown. So whichever parts you feel are almost drying, you can give touch of darker tones. I'm playing the video in a faster speed as it is getting too long, but I feel it's giving an impression that I'm doing the painting very dottedly, which is not the case actually. When you do it at a normal speed, it will not appear dotted. But the video was getting too long, and sometimes long videos feel boring actually. That's why I had to increase the speed of the video. And at the same time, I don't want you to miss on any part. So any part of the video which is actually a repetition, I am making it faster, as you have understood the technique which I'm using to do it. In case you have any queries, or in case you want me to show you any part slowly, you can please write to me, and I'll either personally send you the entire video in the normal speed again, or I can, if in case you wish me to make similar videos again, I can do that as well. Now I'm coming to the leaf. Here I have used sap green, viridian hue and yellow. As this leaf is folded, the part which is actually folded should be darker. So once I have done yellow and sap green, finally I will give the touch of dark green there. So just take a look at how this is being done. In case you don't wish to give yellow, you can avoid that as well, as the leaves of roses are generally darker in shade. So you can use viridian plus sap green as well. So now I will leave this to dry, and after that I will give the darker shading on the folded part. Meanwhile, I come to the other leaf. This also is folded, so applying yellow initially on the the part which is folded. So we almost come to the end of our painting. It's almost done. Now we will just give any highlights or any part which you feel still looks lighter, you can darken it. You can again come to the petals also. So now I'm just doing any highlights for the parts I felt should be highlighted a bit more. You can do that for the leaves, for any part of the flower which you feel are still lighter and need to be highlighted. But we should avoid coming back to the parts too much. So guys, our painting is done. In case you like the tutorial, you find it helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And please write to me for any suggestions, any kind of videos which you want me to make for you. Your likes, your subscribes are always a great boost for me. Thank you very much. See you soon. Take care. Bye.